What's up, everyone? Today we're diving into the fractured psyche of John Jones as he faces the most terrifying invasion he's ever encountered, one that's happening inside his mind. The Martian Manhunter has always been one of DC's most powerful psychics, but what happens when he becomes the victim of his own abilities, when the line between reality and delusion blurs beyond recognition? This is the story of a man losing his grip on sanity, while simultaneously becoming Earth's last hope against an unseen enemy. Let's get into it. Our story opens in a living room where a couple sits motionless before their television. Wheel of Fortune playing as if everything is normal. But the blood splattered across the screen tells a different story. This isn't normal. This isn't right. Something has gone terribly wrong. A man stands in a room with a gun in his bloody hand, looking at a poster of an alien. Meanwhile, on a busy street, we find John Jones attempting to light a cigarette with shaky hands. But he's not alone in his mind. Not anymore. What happens in your head also happens. The voice torments him, a psychic intruder that won't leave him be. John mutters through gritted teeth, "Keep it together, John." But the voice persists, calling itself the Martian Manhunter, an entity that refuses to be silenced. This isn't the confident, composed Martian Manhunter we've seen standing shoulder to shoulder with Superman and Batman in the Justice League. This is a man on the edge, desperately trying to maintain his grip on reality while an alien presence invades his thoughts. Understanding comes later, the voice warns. Total, complete understanding will result in mind self-destruction. John finally snaps, screaming into the void. "None of this makes sense. Just leave me alone." But the Martian voice remains, eerily calm as it whispers, "Be still. Remember." And just like that, we're transported into John's memories. A honeymoon with his wife Bridget, the smell of his mother's cinnamon rolls, brief moments of peace before reality comes crashing back. In a moment of clarity, John questions the very existence of his tormentor. Martian? We've been to Mars? We have pictures? There's nothing there. No aliens. The logic seems sound. There are no Martians. This must be a brain tumor or mental illness. It has to be. But the voice responds with a chilling line. "Forgive me. Us. Yourself. Not Martian. Not literal. A symbol. The best fit. A concept constellation. Alien. Different. Far away." Whatever is happening to John goes beyond conventional understanding. This isn't an alien invasion as we've seen before. It's something far more abstract, more terrifying. A conceptual entity that has latched onto his mind, using Martian as the closest approximation his human brain can process. Lost in his existential crisis, John nearly walks into traffic. And then the Martian is everywhere now. On a parking meter, in a baby stroller. We must go, John. The voice urges. The parents are already dead. We will soon decide on Certa Street. What happens in your head also happens. John turns, panicked, eyes locking onto the baby in the stroller, the Martian. He shouts, "What do you want? Why are you here?" The baby's mother swings her purse at John. "Get away from my baby." John stumbles back, heart hammering. Under attack from what? "Investigate," the voice commands. "Open your eyes. See people clearly for the first time." And then comes the moment that changes everything. John's perception shifts dramatically as he gains the ability to see into the minds of those around him. Fear, paranoia, rage, these emotions cling to the populace like a disease. The Martian's warning becomes clear. Social toxic buildup. A natural process in unstable, unequal societies, but this surge, this exponential rise, suggests external interference. Complete psychoplanetary collapse is imminent. This isn't just John's problem anymore. The entire human race stands on the precipice of madness, and he's the only one who can see it. But before he can process this revelation, disaster strikes. The voice warns of an active shooter reaching Little Damascus, a neighborhood on Certa Street. John realizes with horror that the kid with the gun he glimpsed earlier is about to open fire. Saved your life, the voice reminds him. Reorganized matter and events. Now you, we are entangled. The gunman, convinced he's fighting aliens wearing human skin, opens fire on innocent civilians. John receives the alert. Jones, possible active shooter, event at Serta Street, and rushes to the scene. As he drives, the Martian materializes in his passenger seat, grinning. Let's ride, partner. Spooky action heroes at a distance. When John arrives, 5 victims are already down. The gunman turns toward him, weapon raised. But now John has access to knowledge he shouldn't possess. The shooter's name, his history of mental illness, his childhood memories. It's me, John says. Clyde Toomis. The shooter hesitates. Toomis? How long's it been? It's a desperate gambit, using information gleaned from the gunman's own mind to establish a connection. For a moment, it seems to work. Is that really you, Toomis, or are you just pretending? But doubt creeps in. The shooter's paranoia runs too deep. Some of them are so good at pretending, they don't even know they're doing it. They convince themselves they're human beings. The police arrive, weapons drawn. John steps forward, trying to de-escalate. Inside the shooter's mind, the Martian presence searches for the cause of his delusions. Level 18 delusion, hallucination, brain rotter, invasion coded, classic us versus them architecture. For a brief moment, recognition flashes across the shooter's face, a fleeting instance of clarity. Then a single shot rings out. The bullet finds its mark. The shooter falls. Later, John's boss reprimands him. You should have taken the shot. But John remains silent, haunted by what he's experienced, and by the Martian's final warning. Danger, disaster, doom, worst possible finding, worse than feared. The White Martian has come to end humankind. The White Martians, in DC lore, they're the violent, genocidal cousins of the Green Martians. If they've truly come to Earth, hidden among humanity, then John's nightmare is just beginning. As our hero slides into bed beside his sleeping wife, we're left with the most haunting image of all. A man who can no longer trust his own mind, yet must somehow save humanity from a threat only he can perceive. And there you have it. Absolute Martian Manhunter, issue number 2, is a wild, confusing ride from start to finish. We see John struggling with reality, get caught in a deadly standoff, and ultimately fail to stop a shooting before it's too late. Meanwhile, the mystery of the Martian's voice deepens, leading to a terrifying revelation. The White Martian is here, and its arrival could mean the end of humankind. This issue is a masterclass in suspense, blending sci-fi, horror with gripping real-world trauma. The themes of paranoia, identity, and mass hysteria make it one of the most compelling stories in the Martian Manhunter mythos. What do you think of this issue? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the discussion going. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into comics. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.